What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Steins Gate Zero. This was episode 11. We only have two more left before we're caught up. And holy crap. So we finally, well, number one, we got to see Dorrough's hideout, which was like at the back of a convenience store or something, which was kind of funny. I think his part-time job was like surveillance guy, so that was kind of interesting. But we finally got to see Okabe do what I said he should have always done from the start with Maho, and just he told her what was going on, gave her the information that she needed so that she knew what was going on with the laptop and World War III and all that stuff happening. So it was definitely about time that he did that, just because of how, oh God, he kept her in the dark for so long, and now it's finally like, hey, here's all the information you can need. Here's all the stuff you need to know. Now we need to keep this thing safe. To the point where, like, she agreed to destroy the laptop. They didn't exactly destroy the laptop in the way that she or any of them really intended, but it was destroyed anyway. Because as they were talking this over, the group that had initially attacked them came back and actually made their way into the convenience store, or the clothing store or whatever, made their way in, and they had to escape, but they were stopped. The group was stopped in the alley by this, I think it was the DARPA group, was stopped by them. And so they kind of were being held, they were being held hostage, specifically Maho. And as a result, Okabe held out the laptop, said, I'll give it to you if you in exchange for Maho. And he showed he wasn't playing around by swinging the laptop around, and was like, well, I will break it. And just as they did the trade, I don't know what group it was. They said Russian, so I'm assuming it was probably the Russians, since they straight up said it. Because I thought at first it was the Rounders, like cleaning it up. But apparently it was the Russians. Swooped in and opened fired on the alley. God, they opened fire on the alley and destroyed the laptop. And in fact, to the point where the one dude walked up and shot it again just to make sure everything was broken. And also managed to shoot the one chick who already had her one wrist broken. Now she got her left wrist, I think, broken or hurt. Then she got shot in the other wrist, which that's another big thing later. But yeah, so all that, and the laptop got destroyed. And Okabe, I think, got shot in the neck or something. And Maho, her hand was hurt, but not because of any gunfire or anything. She was gripping a piece of the laptop so hard that it punctured her hand. And later down the road, when we see them at Ferris's place, she kind of collapsed from, I'm guessing, shock from just everything that happened. We had a bit of a fan service moment, but of course after that we see kind of a little more emotion developing between Okabe and Maho, mostly Maho, but now that she's also aware of the time travel and the fact that he was able to leap through different parts of time back to where Makise Kurisu was alive and hop between world lines, she began to inquire about who Kurisu was to Okabe, and that was kind of a very interesting moment to see that kind of interaction between the two of them, because she understood he went back over and over through time, and he said, yes, I did, and she was going to ask, and she didn't. So it's kind of like, I like how even with this knowledge now, she still respects Okabe enough to understand where he's coming from and like what he's been through. And so after all that, we see Maho and Professor Leskinen leaving for America, and Okabe says goodbye to Amadeus one last time. He even says, how many times have I said goodbye to you? No context for Amadeus, but obviously a lot more context when it comes to Kurisu herself. And that was really nice. It was a beautiful kind of episode. I gotta say, the music, like, just listen to this. 待ってるわ、向こうで。こうして、レスキネン教授とヒヤジョーさんは。Even when the animation in this show is just kind of okay, and it's very like small things like characters shaking hands or things like that. The music just carries so much weight in this show, and I love how so many scenes can be just made by this type of music. Whoever is the director or whoever the composer is for this show, top marks. And the last thing we see in this episode, which was a huge thing, was Judy Reyes on the airplane, and she got some kind of like drink or something on the plane, and her one hand was underneath the blanket. And I'm thinking that's probably the reveal, because we saw that Yuki, I think was her name, the Suzuha's mom, had an injury on her hand. And at a passing glance, we kind of think it's her because of the injury from the last time we saw the fight, or the big thing. We saw her wrist injured. And then this time we see her hand injured, but it wasn't the hand that got shot, it was the wrist. And then seeing Judy Reyes with that kind of, it's a little less in your face than what Suzuha or Yuki's was, but it was definitely still kind of an obvious like, hey, probably her. So I really like that about that kind of reveal. But let me know what you guys think in the comments about this episode. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe, of course, either before or after you guys watch this. Definitely check out the links in the description if you want to see the full reaction to it. And yeah, other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, like, subscribe, comment, the whole 9 yards, and head on over and enjoy the reaction.